Hi everyone, it's Evan from the Trade Risk on Sunday, October 25th, here with some trade ideas heading into the week. Should be a pretty quick video. I got about 5 or 6 trade ideas to go through. We'll look at the S&P 500, we'll look at the SPY ETF real quick before we jump into those trade ideas, just to see where we are in this sort of market landscape. But it should be a pretty quick video. And for those of you who haven't seen sort of our style here at the Trade Risk, all of our trades and our ideas focus around momentum, breakouts, consolidations. So that's what you're going to see. You're mostly going to find tight patterns, clear, horizontal, flat-based channels. And that's what we really like to trade here. Things preferably near all-time highs, and that look ripe for some volatility expansion and breakouts to the upside. Now, if we look at the SPY ETF first here, the bulls are getting it done, closing up 2% on the week. And you can see now we got this nice string, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of some really large-bodied green candles to the upside here. So we're marching through resistance. We took out 199 resistance a couple of weeks ago. This week we clearly broke above this 205 breakdown level that people probably anticipated, and I did too, where we would find some previous supply, some difficulties getting above this level. But it wasn't the case. We did march right back above it, and we closed on the highs. We closed strongly. Now, this is a weekly chart we've been looking at. If we go back to a daily chart, you can see the gap higher and run into Friday's session. But if we take a step back here and we look at what happened this week, this was Monday's candle right here. And you can see we basically went sideways Monday, sideways Tuesday. Wednesday was the nice little bear trap here that started to break down from these recent lows here, and you might have thought we were in store for a few-day pullback, perhaps back down to this 199 level, and then Thursday came along and completely reversed that action, trapped in any of those aggressive shorts. Any of the week longs now had to chase. We broke above recent resistance, and then of course on Friday we had, or on Thursday evening rather, we had a few of the big components, some big companies reporting some pretty nice numbers, or at least some pretty nice reactions to their numbers. And those components, like the Microsoft, like Amazon, like Google, and many others, reported that night. That blew it out of the water, and that caused the gap up here and push higher, even though we are quite, overbought. But again, that's a relative term, and overbought can remain overbought. The point is, though, we're back above this previous breakdown level. We're in this chop in here, so there's a lot of kind of dead money. There's just a lot of previous supply traded in this zone, but very soon we would start to talk about these all-time highs up here around 212. Now, I don't think we can just beeline right to them, but that's sort of the next real big overhead level to start to consider. Now, again, we are stretched from some of these fast-moving averages. You can see here in V-shaped fashion, like this bull rally has sort of proved to us, we are continuing to march higher with not a whole lot of pause in between. We got this little bit of a pause in here, but as far as movement goes in actual price, it really wasn't that dramatic. Just basically came back down and touched the 8-period exponential moving average. So perhaps we are in store to rest a little bit. It is maybe difficult to chase up here for sure, but for now, it's hard to argue otherwise, that you definitely want to be looking at this market with a glass half full. So let's look at some of these trade setups that I have. The first, a couple that I've been talking about recently, actually, and they had really nice sessions. So hopefully some of you guys are able to capitalize on this. But these were a couple of names we were watching. ICE is the first one. Look at this nice weekly breakout it had. May not be too actionable just right yet, but if you wait for this to cool off for a few days, that could be something that interests you. Same thing with EVER. This one we talked about for some time now, broke above this recent pivot resistance level, had a nice almost rounded base, if you will, with a little handle, so cup and handle, however you want to call it. It looks good. So this one had a nice breakout as well. Again, if you don't want to chase it, just keep an eye on it, and you might be able to get something more actionable for a lower risk entry in the near future. Now, if we look at some more actionable names, we can look at like BKU. This one is hanging up here high and tight near highs, and it is failing at this resistance as it has been for the past few weeks, but this is what we want to keep an eye on. Can it punch through this 37, 60, these recent highs in here, start to make its way to $38? This could be back in motion. Still in an uptrend. It's been consolidating here near the highs. Looks pretty interesting in the next couple of weeks to come. ULTA, there's another one that has some pretty clear resistance here at 170. It's been failing here multiple times now for the past few months, consolidating nicely. It's been in a long-term uptrend. See if it can punch through these highs up here. Might start a new leg higher in ULTA. Next is CHTR. Not quite ready just yet, but again, very similar situation. All of these ideas that we're looking at today, they're not ready yet, but they do have some well-defined overhead resistance, and that's what we like to see in the context of long-term uptrends and tight patterns. So above 190, 191 start to get going above here with a strong close. You can see a lot of tails here in the previous attempts for basically all of 2015. So we'd want to see that change of character. We'd want to see a close above 190 or so to get more interested on the long side. And then finally, TWC. Again, very similar situation here. Not ready yet, but it's been consolidating near highs. It's been in an uptrend. 190 above this zone in here starts to get more interesting. If we can get a close above there, then I think you could start to get some a new leg higher. Wave of momentum in TWC. And as always, check the earnings dates on all of these. We are in the midst of earnings season, so it's very important that you do that. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for watching. I will catch you next time.